Welcome into CU Sports Mag. I'm Jake Shapiro, and alongside me is Allie Monroy.
This is the first time Jake and I will be on the desk together, and to be honest with you all, I'm a little scared.
Why?
I'm just not sure we'll be able to get through the whole show, and there's such great things happening on CU right now.
Does this mean?
No, Jake.
On today's show, we have football news, recaps on the men's and women's basketball seasons, as well as lacrosse, ski updates, and Buff banter.
No, Jake, you're getting way too ahead of yourself. Slow it down and let's get started.
Welcome back to the desk. We're so happy that you are joining us today.
We have to open the show on a sad note today. CU's beloved mascot, known by some as Rowdy and many others as Ralphie 4, passed away this weekend at the age of 19. Rowdy roamed the sidelines of Folsom Field for over 10 seasons, beginning in 1998. She led the Buffs on the field before some of the school's most memorable victories. We'll let the video speak for itself as we watch her final run in 2008.
Be complete without a dead-out sprint from Ralphie and, well, his faithful sidekick, Jim Knox. Knox, he's gonna smoke him. Look at this.
Rowdy was the first Buffalo I ever saw run, Allie, and I think we'll all remember the first time we ever saw a Buff run at Folsom Field. It's a memory you never forget as a member of the CU community. I'll remember her for her crooked horns and, of course, in the early mid-2000s, the success the Buffs had running behind Rowdy. She continued to make some public appearances after her retirement. She was always there to take pictures with fans. We got to say rest in peace, Rowdy.
Thank you for all the great memories.
The CU women's basketball team advanced to the third round of the WNIT tournament after defeating the South Dakota State Jackrabbits in overtime last Sunday. The Buffs faced the Jackrabbits in Brookings and looked strong until blowing a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter. But they came back to dominate in overtime and took home the win with a final score of 81-75. Haley Smith and Kennedy Leonard combined for a total of 50 points, making up for the loss of injured starting guard Alexis Robinson.
Exciting overtime win, the Buffs' postseason run unfortunately came to an end in the Sweet 16 of the WNIT. The team faced off against the Iowa Hawkeyes on Thursday night and ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. Iowa shot 49% from the field on their way to an 80-62 victory. Meanwhile, the Buffs struggled, shooting only 39% from the field. Team star Kennedy Leonard wasn't her usual scoring self. She only scored 6 points throughout the whole game. CU finished its first season under Coach J.R. Payne at 17-16, a strong improvement from last year.
The men's basketball season wrapped up last week with Colorado losing in Orlando to UCF. Overall, it was a very disappointing season that saw Tad Boyle essentially waste one of his most talented rosters. Moreover, waste one of his most talented players in Derek White. The team was pegged to make a deep NCAA tournament run by some. In the end, they flamed out in the NIT. 4 fifth-year seniors, and it resulted in an unbearably forgettable season. The team at one point won 9 of 12 conference games, but even that was all for naught. Their 0-7 start to conference play and a disappointing non-conference slate cost them a chance to dance. The 4 fifth-year seniors finished their career in very disappointing fashion.
The honors are still rolling in for CU basketball standout Derek White. On Wednesday, White was named to the NABC All-District 22nd team. It's just another bullet point on a list of honors for the CU star that includes first team All-Pac-12, Pac-12 All-Defensive Team, and many more. The former Division II standout led the Buffs this season as he averaged 18 points and 4 assists per game. He'll be remembered as one of the top Buffs of the Tad Boyle era.
Some have questioned the career of Boyle and his job with the Buffs after this year's poor play. The notion is absurd. Boyle has raised the bar for Colorado basketball. The program has already reached heights that had never before gotten to prior to him. The Buffs have never missed the postseason under Boyle in his 7 seasons, a rare 7-year stretch for the program, which hasn't seen much sustained success over the course of their program history. To reiterate, Boyle and the Buffs are fine.
Put away those cell phones, turn off that computer. Get rid of any electronic device that could give you the answer to this week's trivia question. The CU lacrosse team has been exceptional all year long, winning every game they've played so far. This is not going unnoticed nationally, as the team is now ranked in the top 5 in 2 different polls. With that being said, we want to know, when was the last time CU's lacrosse team had top 5 rankings in 2 different polls? There may be a hint later on in the show, so stick around to find out.
Not only will we answer that later in the show, we will also have updates on the football team.
And Jake caught up with the Colorado women's soccer team to see how they feel they are treated in comparison to men. Stay tuned.
We all have a story. And you know what? The Latinos have not been able to tell their story. Well, the Latino History Project was to put the history of Latinos in the school system in St. Vrain and Boulder Valley. At CU, Boulder has been our main support in doing this. It is very important that we be proud of where we came from and say, I am who I am. I'm proud to be Latina, and I'm proud to be Boulder.
I've gotten a lot of shocking reactions when people find out that I'm 26 years old and I'm a freshman here at CU Boulder. I was in the Army for 8 years. I was in Afghanistan for 12 months in 2011. The worst part of my deployments was just seeing war and feeling that you're not safe. I decided to leave the military. I've always wanted to go to CU Boulder because of the outstanding education. Everybody made sure that I was well taken care of. I'm diving straight into calculus, physics, programming. I can be a veteran and I can be Boulder.
During the spring game last Saturday, head coach Mike McIntyre announced the Colorado Buffaloes 2017 captains. 4 of the 6 captains are not new to this leadership position. Philip Lindsay was elected captain for the 3rd time in his career. This is only the 3rd time in Colorado football history that a player has been elected as captain 3 years in a row. Alongside Lindsay will be fellow multi-year captains George Frazier, Jeremy Irwin, and Derek McCartney. Finally serving their first term as captains will be senior Afolabi Laguda and junior Rick Gamboa. Jake, what can we expect from these captains and their fellow teammates this upcoming season?
Last year, the Buffs went 10-4 this season with the departure of multiple key pieces. Many are expecting a step back. While this may seem like it's important to keep a good perspective on where CU was this time last year, a 10-year bowl drought staring them in the face and Mike McIntyre's job in question. With both those commodities no longer looming, it's fair to say the rise was real. The question now is, what will the next step be? Personally, an 8-win season and a Holiday Bowl appearance sounds pretty good to me.
I agree with you, Jake, but honestly, losing as many seniors as the football team did, plus having a new coaching staff on defense, really does pose a threat on the continuation of the rise. In my opinion, leadership at the QB position will be key, as well as finding strong replacements in the secondary. After looking at the schedule, I think 7 wins is an attainable goal for the Buffs.
Mike McIntyre addressed the media following the Buffs spring game. He touched on many different things, including what he thought after the game, as well as how he believed his team played.
I saw a lot of energy. I saw we executed a lot of things. There's good and bad both sides. That's what you really want to see people compete and learn from different situations.
Well, I guess I can tell.
We got out of here with no injuries, which was good. I thought we had a competitive day out there. I thought they competed well. I thought we tackled well in space. I thought that they did some good things, especially the first unit. The second unit busted a coverage, but that's a young safety that just got here in January, just learning it, and he'll learn from a busted coverage. That's how you learn. So I was pleased with what they did, and we'll look at it on film and be able to adjust some things. We didn't do a whole lot of things defensively. We just kind of played vanilla.
First time in a few years, fall football camp may just feature a juicy quarterback competition. With the departure of 4-year starter Sefo Lufau, many expected the job would fall right into the hands of sophomore Steven Montez, who played in 8 games last season. Not so fast, though. Redshirt freshman Sam Neuer is said to have made a big impression on the coaches during spring practice, and he backs that up with a perfect 6-for-6 passing performance during the spring game. Montez, who played admirably in relief of Lou Fowl last season, still appears to be the leader in the competition. But it's clear that the starting job won't be won without a fight.
Mike McIntyre treated the Colorado football coaching staff to a snowmobiling trip. Their adventure took place earlier in the week as the group tries to form a new bond. New DB coach Shadon Brown captured the pick of the group up in the high country.
The off-the-field action didn't end there for the Buffs. After the coaches came back from their mountain trip, the team took some time to help others in need. Many members of the football team spent the day with the Broomfield Fish nonprofit organization. Broomfield Fish helps families that are for one reason or another unable to make ends meet and provide food on the table for their families. Their goal is to make sure the children involved in the organization don't have to go to school hungry. The Buffs came out in numbers and were able to help speed the nonprofit's progress along. The organization really loves having the team there and appreciates the impact they have on their community.
Pretty recently, I had the chance to spend some time with the Colorado women's soccer team. There are always questions on campus about Title IX and if it works, so I made sure to ask them. While at most schools, female athletes feel secondary to male athletes, at the University of Colorado at Boulder, this isn't a problem.
In comparison, we're treated extremely fairly. I think Seal Berry and Rick George really do a good job of complying to our needs as well as to the men's needs.
Rick George, the athletic director at the University of Colorado, and Seal Berry, in her 10th year as the senior women's administrator, are both committed to making sure female athletes at CU are treated the same as male athletes.
It's such an incredible feeling. Rick and Seal do such a good job at making sure that everyone's included. There's so many programs too within CU, like the inclusion, diversity programs and stuff like that, to make sure that everyone feels very connected and included, and they do an excellent job and just you feel at home being a Buff.
Overall, as it stands today, the University of Colorado is in pretty good shape.
Coming in, we've had some problems back home with women treated differently to men and men getting many more advantages over women. But being here, I feel like the facilities everywhere are just exceptional, and we've got so many support behind us.
While the athletic department does have a top-down approach to making sure female athletes are treated the same as male athletes, it doesn't mean there aren't problems.
Altogether, we are treated pretty equally, but there are definitely a few things that definitely you can tell that there's a little bit of a difference between the guys and the girls and what they get.
The goal for administrators Seal Berry and Rick George is this: by 2021, there should not even be a question as to whether female athletes are treated as fairly as male athletes here at CU.
Last season, the women's soccer team put down one of the best campaigns in school history. This year, they're looking for an encore performance. Of course, it all starts with the spring season, a 2-month stretch that consists of 5 executive games on Sunday. The team took on Air Force in those first of those 5 scrimmages, a match that ended in a 2-2 tie. The team will play 4 more exhibition over the next 3 weeks as they shape up for the fall. As the spring season finishes up, head coach Danny Sanchez is hoping his team can tighten things up on defense and improve their fitness. Keep an eye out for these Buffs coming fall. Coming up after the break, we will bring you the latest updates on the women's lacrosse team. They've been killing it, and so you definitely want to stay tuned and hear the latest on them. Also, our own Lena Takahashi is in studio to give us an in-depth look at the track and field team and their latest meet at the Jerry Keeler Classic, so don't go anywhere.
People.
We the people.
We the people of the United States.
We're bringing in experts from CU Boulder Law School and introduces students to issues that are of national importance but have a tremendous impact on the small community of Ray. I think it really starts to develop those students into those informed citizens we would like them to become.
Do ordain and establish
this Constitution for the United States of America.
You can be a high school in Ray, Colorado and still be Boulder.
My biggest fear in life would be not amounting to anything. I decided I wanted to go to college because my parents never went.
The pre-collegiate program connects students with mentors to ensure that students get into college and graduate.
The best part about this program is the summer trips we take. The 2 weeks at CU, I've learned how stressful it is. That scares me, but in a way it does excite me. The biggest thing I've learned is just if you want to succeed, you have to be bold.
It's time for us to honor 2 student athletes for their excellent play over the past week. That's right, it's time for our Sports Mag Athletes of the Week. Our athletes of the week are Paige Sorensen from the lacrosse team and Rajon O'Quinn from the track team. Sorensen has been absolutely on fire all year, but her performance in the Oregon game was spectacular. She made 8 saves in Colorado's 16-11 victory this past week. O'Quinn was one of many Colorado athletes who took home a victory at the Jerry Quiller Classic. She won the 200-meter race and set a new personal record time of 23.79 seconds, which was almost half a second faster than her teammate Alexandra Peters, who finished second. Congratulations to all the Colorado athletes of the week on their performances over the past week.
After just 4 years, the Colorado women's lacrosse team is a force to be reckoned with. Head coach Ann Elliott had to go through many obstacles in order to get this team up and running, but it has certainly been worth it. Elliott had only 2 years to put the program together before they were expected to compete in the spring of 2014. In the early days, the head coach was forced to persevere as she didn't have many of the amenities needed to run a winning program. In fact, women's golf coach Ann Kelly had to let Elliott use her office in order to give her pitch to recruits. With a top 5 ranking now serving as proof, Elliott certainly didn't let any of these challenges get in her way.
An interesting thing happened to the lacrosse team this past Sunday. While the Sunshine Canyon fire raged just 3 miles west of Boulder and concerns of bad air, the team took their game inside. The Buffs hosted the Oregon Ducks at the Champion Center's indoor practice facility. Not even an actual fire could cool down the Buffs, who remained perfect at 9-0 with their 16-11 win against their MPSF foes, Oregon. Junior Carly Cox recorded a career-best 5 goals in the contest.
Following their win against the Ducks, the lacrosse team has now earned top 5 rankings in 2 different polls. The Buffs remained 4th in the Cascade Inside Lacrosse Media poll and also moved up from 6th to 4th in the Nike US Lacrosse Magazine poll. Only one poll has the team ranked outside of the top 5, and that is the IWLCA Coaches Poll. But the Buffs still moved up this week, jumping from number 7 to number 6. The Buffs continue to climb, and their last 2 home games promise to be exciting, so you don't want to miss it.
The CU lacrosse team isn't the only program on campus that is on a roll. Many a win have happened for the Colorado track and field team. Lena is in the studio to give you an inside scoop on some of the stars of the track and field team.
I'm Lena Takahashi here with the newest edition of Buff Banter. Last Saturday, the Buffs track and field team hosted the Jerry Quiller Classic at Potts Field and recorded 10 first-place finishes. Last season, Colorado was set to host this event. However, because of inclement weather, the meet was pushed back until it was inevitably canceled. So, the hype for this meet had been building since last year. This event was the start of the outdoor season for the Buffs, an opportunity to come out strong and send a message to the rest of the nation. The Quiller Classic came directly on the heels of the NCAA Championships, an event in which the Buffs had an impressive debut. Expectations were sky high. In the 200 meters, the Buffs dominated in both the men's and women's event title. Dwayne McClurkin Jr. placed first with an impressive early season time of 21.18 seconds, only 0.06 seconds off his personal best time. For the women, the Buffs took all top 5 slots with Rajon Quinn coming in first and beating her personal record in the event with 23.79 seconds. Junior Alexandria Peters took home the 400 meters event title with a time of 55.06 seconds, edging out Wyoming by 0.2 seconds. Peters also placed second in the 200 meters with a personal record time of 24.36 seconds. Of the top 5 finishers in the high jump event, 4 of them were Colorado women. Rajon O'Quinn took home her first place, her second event of the day with a height of 5 feet 6 inches. Peyton Gatlin dominated the discus event with a personal record toss of 173 feet and 6.5 inches. Grayson Weber came in second with a toss of 154 feet and 0.25 inches. Sophomore Eliza Grandemange finished third in the women's discus event with a toss of 129 feet and 9.75 inches. Taking home his first event title as a Buff, Davis Butte placed first in the pole vault, clearing a height of 13 feet and 9.25 inches. CU will head to Fort Collins this weekend for the Foom McGraw Open, hoping to continue their magnificent track record. That's all the time we have for this week's edition of Buff Banter. I'm Lena Takahashi. Back to you guys at the desk.
Would you be surprised if I said David Ketterer won yet another slalom race? Well, Given how well the freshmen skied for the Buffs this year, you shouldn't be. Ketterer won the NorAm Cup competing for his home country, Germany. Ketterer won individual races on Sunday and Monday, which allowed him to get more than enough points to seal the overall victory. His overall victory was by 275 points, the largest margin of victory by any skier since 2002, when Chip Knight won by 294.
Congratulations are in order again as Nordic skier Petra Hishikova won her second national title. Last week, Hishikova was only able to participate in 5 of 8 races for CU this season. Due to an injury she suffered competing in the Under-23 World Championships. But she won all 5 of them. The junior became just the 15th skier in history to sweep the Nordic races at the NCAA Championships. The overall win marks CU's 94th individual national title, the most of any school all time. Well, looks like we have rapid fire.
Guys, it is hot in here, but it's not because spring just started. It's because I am here to bring you the latest edition of Rapid Fire.
Freshman golfer Victor Borlow has won the Colorado Mines Bob Wertz Invitational. Following a rough start, he came back from a quadruple bogey to finish this meet with a 3-over score of 147. Borlow outscored fellow teammate Ryan Schmitz by just 1 shot, placing 2 Buffs on top of the podium for the individual competition. This win made Borlow the 3rd freshman at Colorado to win a tournament of 36 holes or more during their freshman year.
If you're staying in Boulder during spring break next week, be sure to listen up. Sarah Baines is in studio, ready to fill your planner with days full of CU athletics. Take it away, Sarah.
Thanks, guys. This is Sarah Baines with the latest edition of Rapid Fire. The Colorado women's lacrosse team is taking on the Fresno State Bulldogs. The Buffs are ranked 4th and will be playing on Sunday at 3 on Kittredge Field. Admission is free, so make sure and support your Buffs. Also this weekend is the CU women's tennis team looking for a conference win. The Buffs face Washington, ranked 38th, on Sunday at 11 a.m. The Buffs are seeking to get a winning streak in the Pac-12 as they are launched into conference play. Also, the CU Alpine teams opened up on Thursday in Sun Valley Resort for the Western Region Open. This non-collegiate event continues this entire weekend for 4 days. CSU hosts the 2017 Fun McGraw Open in Fort Collins this weekend, and CU's track and field team is participating all day in this event. The Buffs are looking to continue their excellent season in this meet. That's all for my edition of Rapid Fire. Have a great spring break, Buffs. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that awesome Rapid Fire segment. You can finally now take out your cell phones, computers, and/or other electronic devices because we are going to give you the answer to the question we asked you earlier, in case you forgot. The question was, when was the last time the lacrosse team was ranked in the top 5 in 2 different polls? That answer, wait for it, was never. The team is only in its 4th year, and this is the best start they've ever had. So they have never been ranked in the top 5 in 2 different polls. Earlier this season, the Buffs achieved their first ever top 5 ranking.
At this point in the show, we would be giving this week's Tweet of the Week, but we wanted to switch things up because why not? This time we have an Instagram of the week, and it comes from Buff Vision. CU's video team was at a recent Colorado Avalanche game and found multiple members of the CU soccer team roaming the stands. Sophomore Jalen Tompkins, junior Sarah Kisner, and recent graduate Michaela Cross were caught on camera doing something. As you can see, there isn't much else you can say other than, wow. Certainly looks like these Buffs had a blast supporting their fellow Colorado team.
I wish to hang out with them. They look fun.
Well, I don't know.
Anyways, I think my post should always be the post of the week, Allie. As executive producer, you hold that power.
I think not, Jake. I really think not.
But all my posts are actually good.
I think you're giving yourself a little bit too much credit, Jake, but hey, at least you did a good job today.
Well, thanks, Allie. You aren't too bad either, I guess.
Okay.
That just about wraps up today's show.
Thank you for joining us.
Now let's go enjoy spring break. Party on, Allie.
Party on, Jake.